Good morning and welcome back to another morning mobility session. As always, this is 20 to 30 minutes of light movement designed for seniors, but open to anyone. All that you need is your body weight, maybe something like a wall or a chair to hold on to for support, and a yoga mat or comfortable place to lay on the floor. So we'll start with our first circuit. And we're going to start with the shoulder mobility exercise, some bent arm external rotations. So just stand with your feet together and have your arms bent at 90 degrees at the elbow. We're going to turn our hands outward as we squeeze our shoulder blades together and then come back to that starting position. I'm really focusing on that moving coming from the shoulder and then bringing my hands back forward. So rotating elbows stay locked in the position that they're in, and then come back in, out again, and back to that starting position. This movement is really slow and controlled. This is often one that people do with a band or a cable machine, but we still get that benefit if we think about squeezing the shoulder blades together and then returning to that starting position. Opening up to squeeze, back to the start, and one more time, open up, shoulder blades together, and rest. Very good. Second one, we're moving on to hip mobility with a hurdle step. For this one, I'm going to start with my feet together and imagine that there is a hurdle like in track and field days just to your side, and that you're lifting one foot up and over and the other foot up and over. I'm clearing that hurdle with each leg. Takes a little balance and stabilization as we lift up and over. If your hurdle needs to be much lower in order to balance, that's totally okay. But as you gain a little bit of confidence and familiarity, you can increase the imaginary height of that hurdle that you're trying to clear. We're using our hip flexor to help lift that leg up and over and getting a little bit of nice hip mobility as we move side to side. Taking your time. If this is one that it felt nice to have a little balance assist by holding on to a broomstick or something like that, it's totally okay. Or just keep that movement much smaller. Last one to each side. Step and finish it out and rest. Very good. And then our third one is going to be alternating side reaches in a wide stance. I have my feet a little wider than shoulder width, and I'm going to reach a little bit up and over and then alternate the other side. I'm focusing on elongating from my side as I reach one way and then the other. Focusing a little more on reaching up than reaching over. It's not as much of a bend as it is a reach, and thinking about lengthening in between your ribs and your hips, extending the oblique. Reach up and over. It's also good for the neck. It's practicing staying neutral, not having that head bend side to side. Just keeping everything nice and aligned as you reach up and a little over and rest. Perfect. Very good. Alrighty, as per usual, we will repeat everything for 2 times. So we'll do these guys one more time, starting with our external rotations. Standing with feet together, nice 90 degrees here at the elbow. And then I'm turning them out and bringing the hands back in. Squeezing the shoulder blades as you do so, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Squeezing the shoulder blades a little bit as you rotate them outward. just until you get to that comfortably uncomfortable part of your range of motion, not pushing past that point, coming back in. Nice smooth movement, often imagining that your hands are moving through water is a nice way to help slow you down and have a little bit of that imaginary resistance. Squeeze. One more time, externally rotating, and rest. Very good. All right, second one is that hurdle step. So choose whichever side you want to start on. Think about that imaginary hurdle being just at your side, and you have to lift your foot up and over. Lifting. And notice I'm not traveling too far side to side. Sometimes people want to have it be a really big hurdle step, but we're having it be just about a 1 foot size step side to side, up and over. Each leg has to clear that hurdle, lifting with that hip flexor to pull the knee and foot up, modifying that hurdle step to be whoever's short or tall you need it to be. Taking your time, balancing as you lift that leg and rest. Perfect. And then our third one, that alternating side reach in our wide stance position, as comfortably wide as you can handle. If it's shoulder width or just wider, that's perfect. And then we're reaching up and a little over, and up and a little over. Thinking about lengthening through that lat, rib cage, and whole side. A good one to slow down and just focus on your breathing. And really lengthening throughout that whole movement through your fingertips. Extend up. Again, not going too fast. If you need to go a little bit slower than me, that's always okay. Just taking your time. After this one, we'll do one more for each side. Reach. And reach. Perfect. Alrighty, for our second circuit, we're gonna head down to the floor. So find a nice comfortable place if you have a yoga mat or a soft carpet. We're gonna start on our hands and knees. So if you need a little bit of extra cushion, feel free to grab that, rolling up your yoga mat for a little extra knee support. But find a position with your hands underneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips. And then make sure that you're not in a arched back position, but nice and flat. All we're gonna do here is a shoulder blade squeeze and separate. So it's essentially isolating just that shoulder blade part of a cat-cow, squeezing the shoulder blades together and spreading them apart. Squeeze and spread, squeeze and spread. I'm keeping my arms straight as well. I'm not having any changes in my elbow position. Often if we struggle to isolate movement at the scapula or shoulder blades, we tend to transfer that movement into our elbows. So try to make sure you're really just moving the upper back in isolation. And rest. Perfect. Alrighty. And then our second one is going to be lying on your back. We're going to do alternating one leg tuck-ins. We've got two options for these. For starters, if it's most comfortable, have both of your knees bent And then we're going to tuck one in towards your chest and then tuck the other one to your chest. Now, if this feels a little bit easy, returning your foot to the bent leg position, instead you can straighten out one leg as you tuck the other one in, then straighten out and bring your other leg in. So it's up to you whether you do the legs fully outstretched position or the bent knees. What it really changes is the position of that lower back. So if yours is at all tight or sensitive, opt for that bent knee position. But if it feels good, you'll get a little bit of extra mobility doing this straight leg position. Again, taking your time, nice and easy pace. We'll do one more. Squeeze and rest. Perfect. And then for our third one, we're going to do some side to side knee drops. So for this one, bring your legs up to 90 degrees at the hip and the knee and just rest your hands on the floor a little bit away from the body. And then for starters, see if you can flatten your back. Notice as I do that, it tilts my pelvis and my knees come forward a little bit. That is really helpful for this, so make sure your knees aren't too far away from you. And then you're just going to drop them about halfway towards the ground to one side, then come back up, pass through the middle, and go halfway towards the ground on the other side. Now, if it doesn't feel comfortable to go halfway, you can go just a fourth of the way to the ground. Just see whatever feels good for you. Nice and easy pace. If you notice your knees getting farther away from you, just tuck them back in a little bit so that they're at least right over your hips. Nice and easy side to side. We'll do one more for each direction. And rest. Wonderful. Alrighty, we'll go through these one more time. So flip yourself over and make your way back to our hands and knees position. We'll give you a moment to get set up there, grabbing that extra cushion for your knees if you need it. Hands right underneath shoulders, knees right underneath hips. Make sure you're not too spread out here. Nice tabletop flat back position. And then just doing that focused scapular movement, squeezing the shoulder blades together and spreading them apart. Now, you may not feel like you're getting a ton of movement here. That's okay. Just do whatever amount of squeezing and spreading that you can do. If you notice your shoulders really creep up towards your ears and your neck gets really small, think about a nice long neck by pulling the shoulders away from the ears. We'll do two more. Last one. Squeeze and spread. Perfect. Alrighty, then find your way onto your back again for our one leg tuck ins. Again, for these guys, you'll choose either bent knee position, staying here the whole time, or straight legs. I'll show you the first couple with the bent knee position. Just tucking that leg in, returning the foot to the ground. Not going too fast with this one. And now I'll show you the straight legs, tucking it in. It even feels good to hold it for a moment. You certainly can, but we're keeping it mostly mobile by bringing one side in and stretching back out. We'll do one more for each side. Squeeze and straighten. Last one. Squeeze and straighten out. Perfect. Alrighty, then our last one, going back to those side to side knee drops, starting with feet at that 90-degree position at the knee, and then press your spine onto the ground. That might bring your knees a little bit more towards your face. And then just drop your knees at most halfway to the ground and come back up. Other side. This creates just a nice gentle twist at the spine. It should be a range of motion that's comfortable for everybody, but as always, you know your body best. If just a very slight couple inch movement side to side feels best, that's always an option. Just pick whatever's right for you. Also a slight bit of core engagement, which is always nice, as you're pulling the knees through the center, back to the other side. Last one for each direction. Pull through center, other side, and rest. Perfect. Alrighty, take a moment to come back up to a standing position. Just take your time standing back up, getting situated. And we'll start our third circuit with another shoulder and overhead mobility exercise. And so for this one, it's an exercise that's great to do with a band, but we're going to do it without a band. However, imagine that you are holding a band between your hands, starting here, and then move your hands to an L shape. This is our starting position. From here, I'm going to lift my top arm up, then switch my arms over, and then bring my top arm down. A little bit of coordination. Top arm comes up, arm shift over, top arm goes down. Top arm goes up, switching over, top arm comes down. Up, switch, top arm down, up, switch, top arm down, up, switch, top arm down, up, switch, last one, down, up, switch, and rest. Perfect. Alrighty, our second one, we're gonna do little toe raises or tibialis raises. For this one, option to rest your back against the wall. If you don't have a good place to rest against the wall, you can do this standing. But if you have some space, just stand there with your feet about 1 foot away from the wall. And then we're going to lift your toes up as high as you can and lower them back down. Raise your toes up, control it back down. Pull those toes up towards you, lower down, lifting up, back down, up. 2 more times, big lift. Last one, lift and lower. Wonderful. Alrighty, and then our third one is going to be a little bit of a squat pulse. So great one for hips and warming up the legs. Stand with your feet about shoulder width apart, and then we're going to sink down as if sitting to a chair, add a pulse, and then come back up. Really good for these to think about your knees pushing out to the side as you lower down, pulse, and come back up. This is just giving the hips an extra moment to sink into that little bit of a stretch that happens as we get towards the bottom of the squat. And how far down you go is totally up to you. Just see what feels like a nice range of motion for today. I'll show you one that's a little bit not as far if that was what your knees or your body needed. But if you can go almost to chair level, that's also great. One more time, squat, pulse, and rest. Perfect. Alrighty, we have one more time through and then we are done. So going back to our shoulder/overhead mobility, starting with your hands in this L-shaped position. This time as you bring the top arm up, if you can bring it a tiny bit behind the head, feel free just for a little bit of extra stretch, but also however far you can comfortably raise it up is just fine. Imagine you have a band that's stretching between your hands. That helps create a little bit of imaginary tension and gives you something to visualize. Pulling that arm back a teeny bit behind the head. Switch. Lowering back down with control. Switch. Taking your time with this one. It's a great one to do if you have a band, a fun one to try on your own. Great for posture and opening up the upper back and shoulders, especially if you spend a little bit of time seated. And switch. We'll do one more each way. Top arm up, switch over, down, top arm up, switch over, and rest. Perfect. Alrighty, then our second one is that tibialis raise, lifting up our toes. So find your position, resting against the wall, feet about 1 foot away. Legs are mostly straight or as straight as they'll allow. And then lifting up the toes, coming back down. So really focusing, it doesn't really matter what the rest of the body is doing. You're not trying to push yourself up or anything like that. What you're focused on is how close those toes get towards your shins as you lift. If you ever need to kind of step your heels back a little bit towards you, if you feel yourself kind of getting pushed away, feel free to do that. Big lift. Lower 2 more times, lift those toes. 1 more time, lift and lower. Perfect. Alrighty, and then getting ready for our last one. Taking that shoulder width stance for our squat pulses, making sure those knees don't go towards each other, but they stay slightly pushed out, in line with your big and second toes, as you add just a little bit of a pulse at the bottom of your squat. Lower, pulse, and coming back up. Lower, pulse, taking your time, adjusting the range of motion. All these movements combined should have you feeling really warmed up and ready for a strength training session, if that's what you're headed into next, or just for the rest of your day. As always, you can go watch any of these videos again or see previous weeks on this channel. You can always repeat your favorites or try a new one or share one with a friend. This is our last one. And rest. Wonderful. Alrighty, well, great job. I hope that you feel limbered up and ready to tackle your day. We will have another mobility session next Tuesday, so see you then. And if you want any more information, go and find us over at Hello Strength Seniors on Instagram, and see you soon.